So I've now finished round 4 and my whole round of treble stitches. So you can see now how the treble stitches are on the outside, beginning to create the side of the pot with that ridge nicely showing at the edge of the base. So we're now ready to start the cable stitches. So begin by doing our usual chain 2 to just give us that little bit of height. And for this round, we're going to start working into the posts of the treble stitches. And this is what the indication of fptr and bptr, that's the indication is front post and back post. And if we look at the round that we did before, we have this whole round of treble stitches, and these are called the posts. So it's the whole stitch is the post, and that's what we're going to be working behind or in front of. So let's begin this round. Now the very first set of chains I've done comes right above the round before set of chains, and I'm actually going to work straight away into that as my first treble. So the first indication is going to be a front post treble. So for this I need to take the yarn on, and I'm going to take the hook right down below the round I'm on and behind that chain from the previous round, which is pretending to be a treble stitch. And you can see with my hook, when I go down and underneath and behind it, those chains are now lying over the top. So this is called a front post treble. So I now pull the yarn on and then just work a normal treble stitch. So let's do that again. So yarn on, down, right down to the below the round we're working on into the treble stitch below. So I'm going to go in, behind the treble stitch, and then the treble stitch is now lying over the hook. So that's the front post. And I'm going to work that treble stitch once more. And then I need to do 3 of these as the pattern tells me. So I'm doing 3 in a row. So again, yarn on, dig down behind the treble stitch, bring my yarn through, and there we have our first 3 cable stitches made. Now the next indication says bptr into the next 2 stitches. So this time I'm going to do the back post. So now it's just the same, and I only have to do 2 of these. Yarn on, and this time I need to come in from behind, put my hook in front and take the hook back to the back again. So now the post is lying at the back of my work, which is why it's a back post treble. So let's work that, yarn on, and just again work it as a normal treble stitch. So the thing with these stitches is the way we place the hook is what's so important. The treble stitch is as normal, but it's whether it's lying in front or behind the treble post, which is the most important thing. So I've got to work my next back post treble. Yarn on, I come in from the back, go across the treble stitch and back out, so it's lying at the back, and then just work that as a normal treble stitch. So we have now worked the cable combination of 3 front post trebles and 2 back post trebles. So let's do that once more. So I've now got to work my 3 front post again. Yarn on, put the hook behind the front of the post, the front post, and then work my treble stitch. Once more, yarn on, dig down to the next treble stitch, put the hook in behind so it's the post is sitting at the front, and then 1 more of those. And the first round or so, it will feel quite tricky, this stitch, but the more you do it, the easier it is to see it, and actually the easier the stitch becomes. I'm just getting a bit tangled up with my thread. So now I'm going to do the back post because I've done my 3. So yarn on, into the back, bring that through, 1 more, bring the yarn through, and that combination has been done again. So let me just have a look at that from the front. So you can now begin to see we've got 3 front post trebles, 2 back post trebles, 3 front and 2 back. And if we have a look at the completed little pot here, you can see how effective this stitch combination is, and the more you do, the more much easier it'll become to see the combination as you're working it. So you're going to keep doing that all the way around, and at the end you'll have in total 8 blocks of 3 cables showing all the way around your pot, and keep going with that stitch combination.